Taylor Swift is having bad blood with Blake Lively. I am not your dragon.
Between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, Taylor feels like she's been used.
Yeah, used in the middle of Blake Lively's war with Justin Baldoni. And there's certain things that that we know Blake has said about Taylor in reference to that battle that do not sit well with Taylor at all. The big one.
Taylor Swift is fed up with being pulled into other people's drama and has made it clear that she's not Blake's dragon and the feud with Baldoni is not her thing.
Taylor Swift feels like she was used by Blake Lively in her war with Justin Baldoni. She resents Blake calling her one of her dragons.
No one likes being called a dragon, and no one wants to be used as leverage in a feud with no clear direction. Taylor Swift is no exception. Since the drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni erupted, Taylor's name has been dragged into the mess after Blake subtly involved the pop star in her bullying tactics. Blake had invited Taylor and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, to a meeting with Justin Baldoni when she wanted to change the script, knowing that with those two influential figures present, it would be hard for Baldoni to say no. Are you familiar with the dragon reference? Let us break it down for you. Fans first noticed something was off between the It Ends With Us cast, especially between Blake and Baldoni, when they realized Blake Lively, Brandon Scar, Jenny Slate, and Colleen Hoover weren't following Justin on Instagram. On top of that, Justin didn't take any photos with the cast, and his on-screen sister, Jenny, dodged a question about him, which made everyone start to get suspicious.
E! News, January 16th, Justin, his wife Emily Baldoni, and various other family members can be seen sitting around a red table in a windowless space.
What happened next was revealed in Justin's 2025 lawsuit, where he claimed that Blake initially refused to allow his attendance. The Wayfarer team and their families, including Baldoni and producer Jamie Heath, were segregated from the main cast, barred from the exclusive afterparty, and forced to organize their own event at their own expense. The lawsuit also stated that Baldoni's participation on the red carpet was cut short, and his family and friends were confined to a makeshift holding area in the basement before being escorted into a separate theater after Lively's departure. At the time, no one knew that Justin had been locked in the basement during the premiere. However, the divide between Blake and Justin became even clearer when Blake began promoting the movie as a lighthearted rom-com, encouraging viewers to grab your friends and wear your florals, while Justin took the movie's message of domestic violence awareness much more seriously.
This is the night for Blake. This is the night for Colleen.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that we're here. 5 years in the making.
Oh, and finally it's
Pinching. I'm here. It's here.
Well, you did it, and you did it so well. And who did you bring with you tonight to celebrate this highly anticipated
I
movie?
brought my entire family.
I mean, your wife is looking like a boat.
Come here, baby.
This is a night for all the women we made this movie for, he told ET during the premiere. If a Lily Bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself than what was made for her, maybe she sees herself on that screen and chooses something different for herself. That's why I made the movie. When rumors surfaced about there possibly being two different cuts of the film, revealing creative differences between Justin and Blake, along with speculation that Sony Pictures chose the more feminine version, the online fan base went wild.
It's been present, but today I came home and cried, like, keep your hormones to yourselves. She adds she didn't want their gaze or words or tongue.
But behind the scenes, there were already whispers that the feud went beyond just creative differences. The tension was reportedly fueled by claims that Justin was chauvinistic and borderline abusive while the cast was filming. An insider told page 6 that the tension on set was so palpable that once Blake finished her scene, she became visibly impatient, asking, "Am I done? Can I go?" As soon as they confirmed, she was out of there so quickly that it left a Blake-sized hole in the wall. To show that she was fully aware of the movie's real message, Blake Lively later shared on her social media ways her followers could access immediate help. In her Instagram story, she wrote, "1 in 4 women aged 18 and older in the US alone have been the victim of severe physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime." She continued, "Intimate partner violence affects all genders, including more than 12 million people every year in the United States. Everyone deserves relationships free from domestic violence.
Understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you. What's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could
By the middle of August, more rumors began circulating about how uncomfortable Baldoni allegedly made Blake Lively feel in her postpartum body. Blake had given birth to baby Olin in February 2023, and the movie started filming in May 2023. It was rumored that Justin asked an on-set trainer for Blake's weight before he had to lift her for a scene. Later, it was revealed that Justin reportedly had back problems and didn't want to risk injuring himself. Blake also reportedly felt that the actor and director lingered too long during a kissing scene. Due to this alleged discomfort, Ryan Reynolds reportedly felt compelled to confront Baldoni so aggressively that he had to offer repeated apologies. The situation got so tense that a Sony representative had to step in and apologize to Baldoni. It's no surprise that Blake referred to him as one of her dragons, as he most certainly caused a lot of trouble. At the time, the rumors of Baldoni's wrongdoings simmered in the background, while the way Blake promoted the movie in the wrong way became the focal point. It was for this reason that some of her colleagues decided to speak up in her defense.
But are you Team Blake or Team Jess? He said, I don't think with Gail.
It ends with us.
It ends with us star Brandon Sklenar playing Switzerland.
At the end of August, Brandon Sinar posted a statement on Instagram saying Colleen and the women of this cast stand for hope, perseverance, and for women choosing a better life for themselves. What may or may not have happened behind the scenes does not, and hopefully should not, detract from what our intentions were in making this film. He continued, there isn't a single person involved in the making of this film who wasn't aware of the responsibility we had in making this. All I ask is that before you spread hate on the internet, ask yourself who it is helping. The entire situation took a toll on Blake. A source told people that Blake Lively was pretty surprised by the backlash and drama, which felt completely out of control to her. She initially felt very vulnerable and upset. The source continued, during the promotion of the movie, not a single day went by without her being in the news in an unfavorable light. She's just not used to this kind of drama. To make matters worse for her, Baldoni continued to win everyone's admiration by saying all the right things.
I had a intense year. This morning I sent a text message. I had anxiety.
Why is that?
I haven't talked about this yet.
Justin Baldoni is an actor, filmmaker, and a New York Times bestselling author. He co-founded Wayfarer Studios.
In an interview with the How to Fail podcast, Justin revealed just how difficult it was to decompress after playing a character like Ryle. That was very hard, and honestly, it took a few months, he said. I had dreams as him for a while, and it lived in my body, but I think for the most part, he's out. I've done a lot of somatic therapy. There were times when I was actually just shaking. He continued, there's a moment in the movie where Ryle finds Lily's phone and he sees a phone number. He's very jealous, heartbroken, and angry. He doesn't harm her, but you can see in his eyes how dangerous he is. After that scene, I had a near breakdown. Justin definitely knew how to win hearts over with his portrayal.
Blake Lively has filed a legal complaint against her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni with a list of 30 demands.
But Blake sent the internet into a tailspin in December 2024 when she published messages between Justin Baldoni, his publicists, and legal team members in the New York Times, claiming they were behind a smear campaign against her. It was brutal. Justin's lawyer, Brian Fredman, immediately responded, calling the claims false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious with an intent to publicly hurt her. In response, Blake's legal team firmly asserted that this was not a feud based on creative differences or a he said, she said situation. They claimed Wayfarer Studios and its associates engaged in unlawful retaliatory astroturfing against Miss Lively for simply trying to protect herself and others on a film set. The statement continued, sexual harassment and retaliation are illegal in every workplace and in every industry. A classic tactic to distract from allegations of this type of misconduct is to blame the victim by suggesting they invited the conduct, brought it on themselves, misunderstood the intentions, or even lied. Another tactic is to reverse the victim and offender, suggesting that the offender is actually the victim. These concepts normalize and trivialize allegations of serious misconduct. It was a lot of big terms aimed at making Baldoni seem guilty. Seeing the reaction to the allegations, Blake felt on fire and believed she was doing the right thing. She continued to push forward, ready to tackle whatever came her way. But in hindsight, if she had known what was to come, she might have taken a different route.
Scene between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, straight from a Hollywood intimacy coordinator. Mia Schachter helps coordinate steamy scenes on Hollywood production.
Initially, things were going well for Blake and pretty poorly for Baldoni. After Blake's accusations were published, Justin was dropped by his agency, WME. Shortly after, Liz Plank, a co-host on Justin's podcast Man Enough, left the show. Brandon Sinar, who had initially appeared to be a man for peace, picked a side when Blake's NET piece went live. He shared a screenshot on his Instagram story with the message, "For the love of God, read this," linking to the article. Blake's Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars, Alexis Bledel, America Ferrera, and Amber Tamblyn, also showed support for her by posting a joint statement. As Blake's friends and sisters for over 20 years, we stand with her in solidarity as she fights back against the reported campaign waged to destroy her reputation, the statement read. Throughout the filming of It Ends With Us, we saw her summon the courage to ask for a safe workplace for herself and colleagues on set, and we are appalled to read the evidence of a premeditated and vindictive effort that ensued to discredit her voice. Most upsetting is the unabashed exploitation of domestic violence survivor stories to silence a woman who asked for safety. The hypocrisy is astounding. They continued, "We are struck by the reality that even if a woman is as strong, celebrated, and resourced as our friend Blake, she can still face forceful retaliation for daring to ask for a safe work environment. We are inspired by our sister's courage to stand up for herself and others." It was a lengthy statement, but Blake's support reached incredible heights. To make matters even more intense, Stephanie Jones, Justin's former publicist, sued him, claiming that Justin, Jennifer Abel, and Melissa Nathan had orchestrated a smear campaign without her knowledge. Defendants Abel and Nathan secretly conspired for months to publicly and privately attack Jones and Jones's works to breach multiple contracts, induce contractual breaches, and steal clients and business prospects. Stephanie's complaint stated, "Behind Jones's back, they secretly coordinated with Baldoni and Wayfarer to implement an aggressive media smear campaign against Baldoni's film co-star and then used the crisis as an opportunity to drive a wedge between Jones and Baldoni, publicly blaming Jones for the smear campaign when she had no knowledge or involvement in it." It was hard to believe Baldoni was innocent, but the narrative soon shifted after the new year. Brian Fredman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, stated it was painfully ironic that Blake Lively was accusing Justin Baldoni of weaponizing the media when her own team had orchestrated this vicious attack by sending the New York Times grossly edited documents before even filing the complaint. "We are releasing all of the evidence, which will show a pattern of bullying and threats to take over the movie," he continued. None of this will come as a surprise because, consistent with her past behavior, Blake Lively used other people to communicate those threats and bully her way to get whatever she wanted. We have all the receipts and more. And that's where things get juicy and where Taylor Swift enters the picture.
The couple's legal team files a letter with the court January 21st requesting a gag order for Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman.